Oh my goodness, good morning, is it from Zester's lab? It looks as if a bomb went off in my little room. Yes, I did start to sort it out, and then I got busy with my next project, and now it's worse than previously, but who cares? But listen to the word goodness. Oh my goodness, I've got so much to share. And when I said goodness, I thought, what does it mean? To me, it means I've got good news. Oh my goodness, I've got so much to share, so many things that bring me joy, and I just want to share it. And isn't that, oh my goodness, this is the good news. I've got good news to share. Things that makes me glad to be alive. You know, things that allows the life in me to start flowing. That means you're full of life, you share the life. And isn't that goodness? Good news. Oh, just beside the point, but that is it. So I started a new project. I saw something once again on YouTube. Immediately it made me, oh my goodness, I want to try that. So I went and tried it. And I must say, at the beginning, I wasn't very satisfied. But as I continued in my little stick book or log book, I don't know what to call it, I'm starting to absolutely fall in love with my little book. So this is what I'm going to show you today. How to create a little book by using a stick and something. I know this is actually, it actually worked very difficult, this stuff. I don't know what you call Hessian. It's hard. It was quite difficult to get through the holes. And I thought, you know what? I'm never going to use it again. But as my book is starting to come together, I'm falling in love with my Hessian as well. So what I saw on the YouTube was really the woman used, or the person used, beautiful handmade paper cut in the same size. She made little holes in the paper. And this is the one that I'm going to show you. So she just made holes in the paper and put a piece of rope through. Easy peasy. That's how it looked. I thought, you know what? I'm going to do it. How difficult can it be? But I ran into some little challenges. But that's just me again. So once again, your book, your stick book is going to be different than mine. And what brings you joy is going to be different than what brings me joy. So I got my pages. You can see most of these pages are the pages that I made with the rust. Oh my goodness, and my hands are really messed up. So when you do the rust method of dyeing, please use some gloves. I didn't, so I'm paying the price, let me tell you. So I used some of them. I tried to cut them all the same size, and then the problem was making my holes. I started off measuring it nicely, and then later I just kind of eyeballed them, and that also made it a little bit difficult to push this string especially, this thick string, through the holes, because the holes weren't at the exact places once again. So the thing with this little book that I've learned is the papers need to be quite sturdy, because the holes, they will just, if you use ordinary weak paper, it will tear. So that is. But then I thought, you know that little stickers that we get? I remember we had them when we were now in university, and you made all these holes so it was little plastic stickers with a little hole in the middle, and you could glue that or press that onto the holes, over the holes, and that made it sturdy. So I thought, oh, well, you can always use that. If you want to use not bad paper, you know what I mean, thin paper, you can use those little things. That will work. So you have your papers, you get all your little papers together. One thing is that they say, I'm way past that, is don't use more papers wider than your stick. So I picked up my stick outside. Once again, you can use a little dowel. You know the dowels, like a broomstick. I don't like that. So I actually went and I cut one of this in the garden off. And then later I thought, this is too neat for me. I want something different. I just want it more earthy. That's what I like. So I started with my little book, got 2 very thick pages, the front one, the bottom one. It was the thickest paper I found. And then I just used what I had. And after I made the book, first I got all the papers together, then I fastened it onto the stick, and then I started decorating it. But let me tell you, at that stage, after I did that, I really didn't like this. I thought, oh no, it looks stupid. It doesn't look good at all. And then I started to make it my own. I started to add things. There's just a little doily and a little thing. Look, listen, I started gluing things on. In a very real sense, we are the authors of our own lives. So I started to make this personal. I glued a piece on, a little piece, and then I wrote something else that I cut out of a book. I need to read this. This is awesome. Our creativity does not consist in being right all the time, but in making of all our experiences, including the apparently mistakes and imperfect ones, a holy whole. Isn't that awesome? Our creativity does not consist in being right all the time. It's not about being right or trying to be right all the time, but in making of all our experiences, including the apparently mistakes and imperfect ones, a holy whole. So our creativity is a holy whole. Isn't it awesome? So, as I said, I struggled, the holes weren't in the right places, this kind of seems too hard, and it seems just not nice. But I kept going, and now I am absolutely in love with my little book. There you see just another piece of linen that I hand dyed. So this is just, once again, use what you have. I bought a little stamp the other day, and I got ink. Husband gave, it was in he had it, the ink pad thing. So I just put that in. I bought it because I bought this one. There were many, but they were kind of too expensive to me. But I saw this man, and I just thought, this is such a fun stamp. I would love to just have a fun stamp in all my books, just something. That's me, you know. So this is all the things that I have. I'm still busy with the book. This is just the hand-paid dyed papers, my things that I bought the other day at the charity shop. There you can see some of my, what I've also learned. So once again, We're all different. There are things that we like. There are things that we don't like. As I told you, I don't like shiny pages out of a magazine. This, I don't want to put that. I want an earthy look. And then I've learned something. You just take a piece of, any piece of, this was just one a page that I tore out of a very, very shiny magazine. I started with the Momogami effect. And this just a little bit, not much. You don't have to do it, to crinkle it. And then you just take off the shiny part by just a piece of skuurpapier in Afrikaans. What do you call that? You know, the paper that you, sanding paper, very, very light sanding paper. And you just sand off the bling. And then if you go over that with tea or coffee, that makes it a beautiful, beautiful old paper. So that is what that one was. So there you can see that was one Momogami papers. So I'm not going to go through the whole book. That was just one of my vintage tea cloths. It's little some sewing, hand sewing in there. And enthusiasm literally means being filled with spirit. Isn't it awesome? So, because as I always said, when you are full of life and the life in you, when you are doing things that allows the life in you to start flowing, that's when you're filled with the spirit, because this life is spirit. So that's why, once again, enthusiasm literally means being filled with spirit. What makes you come alive? What makes you excited to be alive? That means those things allows the spirit in you to start flowing. Once again, just slow stitching things. Everything that I love, I am just gluing them, hand stitching them. Some of these pages are very, very thick. I cannot hand stitch, so I just glue more of my hand dyed papers. More, you see, there's still things that I can fill it up with, a little cloth. So, you know, now that I am making this my own, I am starting to absolutely fall in love with. There is some leaves that I picked up. I used them, cover them with some very flimsy paper. There you can see a flower in my lavenders, some, you know. So a little book like this costs you absolutely nothing. Just a little bit of elbow grease or a little bit of creativity, and voila. So I'm just going to make a book with you today, just showing you and just sitting with you and doing it. So this one, I picked this up on the beach and I thought I absolutely love it. This is another one, but I really think that is going to be a little bit too crazy. So I'm going to use this one. For my front page, I took some of the leather that I got from the charity shop. I cut them a little bit too small at the end, but who cares? I don't care, and it's my book. So once again, don't overthink. This one is actually much more loose and, I don't want to say crazy, than the other one. So I am actually loving this one already more, because it's really, really very, very earthy. And I use this piece of leather with the hole in, because look how beautiful. So I've cut my papers yesterday. Once again, the leather for the front and the leather from at the back. This time I'm going to use leather. Once again, thick paper that I hand dyed. Then this is just ordinary thicker white paper, dyed papers. And you can see some are smaller. Also, I thought, why not? You know, why do they have to be all the same size? So I used bigger ones, smaller ones, thick paper. This is a nice one that I will be able to hand stitch on. It came out of old photo albums, you know, that I bought at the charity shop also. So there you can see, I was just cutting papers. I used this knife, my ruler, and then yesterday I went to the charity shop and look what I found. One of these scissors with the little sides. Oh, this works fantastic. Love it. So I cut them. Then this time I really tried to make the holes in the same spots. So each page I really measured, and at the end that also didn't work out perfectly. So I'm just not the perfect type, the perfectionistic type. No matter how hard I try, the more I try, the more messes I make. And then I just come to a stage where, you know, really just keep going. Just enjoy yourself. I get to that point. I start off trying to do things perfectly, and then after a while I just stop trying and just do it my way, and then that's when the life starts to flow. So what I'm also using, this is a piece that I tore off of one of my hand-dyed pieces of cloth. So I thought I really want to go this route. Oh, I love to tear cloth. I love this way. So in order for me to see if I know what I'm doing and just to get them all together, I started this time. Oh, I could needle this. I could put this through a needle. I want them double, so I put them through the needle. I want this longer piece at the side here, at the back. So this, I went through it with my needle, the first hole. So now what I saw they were doing, they put this now in there, and then they bring it over, you know, just bring it over. I'm putting my stick there. I hope you can see. I'm putting my stick there, and then I am going to make a knot just to get my things together, a double knot. You know, and what I've also realized is you don't have to do it like I am now doing it, and that what I saw on the YouTube. You can really just put it through and just make knots. You don't have to do it like this. You can put little pieces like this, strips, and then you just put it through. I am now going to try and show you how to do this, but now once again, as I said, I did try, but my holes are not in the same place, and then my cloth is a little bit thick, so I cannot do it all in one. So just go, but it is much easier with the needle. Really, it is much easier doing it with the needle. And so I am just going through. Yep, there it is, goes through fantastically. So I also think my rope, my taut rope is going to be too short, but guess what? I'm just going to tear another one and just put it on. As I said, this is just so much fun doing. And once again, you can do it your way. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's also wonderful. You know, the first time we do things, it's always much more difficult. And you try to do it as the video you know what you watched. And then the second and the third one, you realized, you know what? Do it my way. Do what comes easy and natural to you. So now I've got it through. Now I just want to show you. It's kind of, they call it, when you sew, blanket stitch. The blanket stitch. So if you're a sewer, you will know. So you just put it through like that. But as I said, once again, you don't have to do it. So I'm going to take it out and just try and show you again. So it goes through, then it comes over, and instead of just going, I also saw them just going in there. So it goes like that. So beautiful, why not? But then the kombersteek, as we call it, you go in there. Look there, now you have a stitch there. You see, and now once again you go in there. So here I'm going. So what is the moral of this story? Once again, use the idea. As I said, I got the idea. I am now giving you an idea as well. And now you can do it your way. Use what you have to create what you love. And as I said, at first I really did not enjoy this until I started working in this little one and then creating this one. And I thought, I am actually loving this. So with a needle, I can really go through many holes, even if the holes are not at the same space. So I'm going to show you again. Die kombersteek, that's what we call it in Afrikaans. Okay, now my English is gone again. So you go through, whoops. You come around to the front and then you just put it in there. And there you go. Can you see? I am actually sewing it like this. And now you go in at the next step. But now that you can see, I am now running out. But I will be able to get through once more. And then I will have to tear out another piece and put it on. Okay, you see, that's actually why I tried to do it, to start off and do it more on my own so that I don't have to struggle here with you. But it is what it is. Oh, and I went to the charity shop yesterday again, and let me tell you something. I did not have any breaks. If you know what I mean. In Afrikaans we call it. Ek het nie brieke gehad nie. It means I didn't have any breaks, meaning I couldn't stop. So usually I am very good at the charity shop. I only buy, oh, okay, this is too bad. That piece is too bad. I need a better piece. Luckily, I did a lot. I must tell you, I am absolutely in love with this orange rusty cloth. I love this. This is my color. This is what I'll use for every single thing. I just love it. So I'm just putting it through my needle. And then As I said, mine is now a little bit too short, so I'm just gonna, I wanted some nice frills. That's what I love. I wanted it. I wanted more. And then okay, I didn't have any breaks at the charity shop, so I actually bought more stuff than I'll usually buy. Look there. Now there's a little piece hanging. There's a little piece hanging. I love it. I'll actually put more pieces on, I think. So I'm going forward again. And once again, I'm going into the stitch, as we call it, pulling it through. There you can see my nice stitches going along there. And once again, I don't know how, but there are 3 holes and 3 holes and a big opening in the middle, because I've only got this little puncher. And that's how it came out. And guess what? I like it. I like it. Why not? So now I'm just going through. Oh, what I also did in this little book, I put in some cloth. Why not? Oh, yeah, I'm going to show you now what I did. Just now, this is a little bit thicker than the other one. What I did was I made a double. Most of my papers and my cloth, I took a piece, I cut it the right size, then I folded it, and then that double side I kept, because I think that's going to be sturdier, and then I punched my holes. That's it. That's my paper. You see? How difficult is that? If you want to get them perfectly, impossible. I cannot do it. I tried. Until, as I said, I got to the point where I realized, you know what? Just stop trying and just have fun. Because I really love the idea of just having loosely earthly stuff that looks bohemian. That's another thing. I also put 2 pieces of leather in here. I thought, oh, I had that piece, why not put another piece in? So I know why they tell you something is bohemian or shabby chic. This is a perfectly shabby chic little book, because it's shabby, it's not perfect. You have to change and do it. Things are not working out as planned. Then you have to make a plan. And my string is now really struggling because I didn't take time to pull it nicely, and it's a little I tore it a little bit thick, but it's going through. So shabby chic is, oh my goodness, things is not turning out, and my holes are not in its rightful place, and my yarn is too thick, or my rope, and I need to make a plan, and then it comes out like this, and then they call it shabby chic. You will never see a perfectionistic person make something that's shabby chic. Theirs will be chic, you know. Theirs will be perfect. and beautiful. But we are not all like that, and that is okay. That's when you get these shabby chic things. So I'm still going on. I've got one little hole to do, but just look at that. Just look at it, my things. Oh man, isn't this just beautiful? So I went to the charity shop, husband and I, because I needed a pot to dye some. Do some eco dyeing that I also saw on YouTube somewhere. And needless to say, I couldn't find a pot, but I did find lots of art supplies. An artist got rid of her things. As I said, mostly people that didn't use it for ages, and now they're cleaning house or going to smaller place, and then they get rid of their stuff. And luckily I was there. So at the end I got some gouache, perfect new. I've got oil pastels. I've got a whole bag like this bag filled with pencils and pens and very, very nice permanent markers. Name it, and it's there. Even a calligraphic, oh gosh, you know what that is? Beautiful ink pens. Just ballpoint refill. This was 20 Rand, less than $1. Then I also got this. I have no idea what this is. Pearl green for paper, high mesh ink. 3 of them. That was for $1. So I thought, I don't know what that is, but I'm definitely gonna see and use it. Then I got this little thing filled with these beautiful little tapes, sellotapes. You see, wasn't that great? What else did I get? I got more stuff. Oh, a huge, round, most beautiful crochet tablecloth ever. But what I want to do with that, oh, my feet, leg is sleeping. Look at this. You know, this is just gorgeous. It is perfect. There is nothing wrong with it. So I saw another thing. I saw that was $4, less than $4. So I couldn't leave it. It was just too perfect and too beautiful. And then I remember a thing that I saw. They throw that over their, this one is now too short again. So what a challenge. No challenge. Okay, this is the bad one again. But this is long enough. So I am just going to fasten this. And now oh yes, that is what I bought. With that, with these beautiful wooden beads. I mean, this was $1, 10 Rand. I mean, and I immediately saw, put a little bit on the ear and use it in my books and use it in my slow stitching, my handbags. Oh, what I see now is, okay, so I am just, there you have it. Voila, voila, voila. Look at this. Okay, I will cut this open. Not the same size, but just look at that. I wanted the frill. I wanted the shabby chic. That is what makes me excited about this. Look at the beautiful piece that I picked up on the beach. There's a hole. I can write something there. I can leave it like that. You can see that is my double piece of leather that I made holes in as well. I've got another punch for that. This one, husband's, all comes out of the garage. But there you have it. And they are smaller. I can put things on. I can slow stitch little pieces on. I can do in here whatever blows my hair back. Isn't it awesome? There's just another little, this is actually a very, very soft page. And look there, that is working. The thing is, you cannot really open these very well. So perhaps you need to make it a little bit looser, but I don't care. Look with this one, you can see it is opening better the more you work in it. So now this you can give as a present just like this, or you can work in it. And I absolutely love this one. And once again, this, if I do it again, I will cut my leather a little bit bigger. But then when I realized, oh my goodness, I cut it a little bit too small, I decided to cut the big piece, a thick one, a little bit bigger. So now it goes. So, make a plan. That is the awesome thing. My shabby chic little book made from a piece of driftwood and leather. Isn't that just gorgeous? So once again, if I can, you can. Do what comes naturally to you. Make what makes you glad and happy to be alive. And voila, that's the end of the story. Why do we create? Remember that piece I read to you. You know, it's the whole of our creating journey, the spirit behind the creating spirit. We're all creative beings. That is what is holy. And it comes through in the stuff that makes us glad to be alive. That is what makes our spirit flows, filled with life. Well, love you lots. Is it from Zetster's Lab?
Yeah.
Have a fantastic day.